Welcome to AI Brief, episode 193. I'm Amin, and I'm really looking forward to exploring today's key AI developments with you. We're seeing AI reshape things everywhere from regulatory halls in Europe to Amazon's warehouses, even onto the soccer pitch. It's moving incredibly fast. And joining me is Leah, ready to help us make sense of it all.
It's great to be here. Our goal today is pretty straightforward. Cut through the noise, pull out the really important insights from what's been happening, and help you understand what it all means. For technology, for business, for pretty much everything else. It's like your essential briefing.
Exactly. And we've got quite a bit to cover. We'll start with the European Union taking a very firm line on AI rules. Then we'll shift to a major antitrust issue Google's facing over there. We'll also dive into how AI is changing the job market, look at some wider updates in AI and robotics, and wrap up with some cool AI tools that could actually help your productivity. Should be quite the journey.
Let's jump right in them. So first topic, the EU. They've decided basically full speed ahead on their big AI regulations. They're ignoring calls from, well, huge companies like Google and Facebook who wanted them to slow down. What signal does that send?
Well, it's really interesting. It's not just that they're regulating, but how. It feels very proactive. They're trying to build the framework before AI gets too entrenched, maybe,
Yeah.
rather than cleaning up messes later. So
Mhm.
setting up guardrails, focusing on transparency, accountability, safety, that kind of thing.
Right. It's a different approach than we've often seen with tech regulation in the past. Sort of puts the responsibility squarely on the developers from the get-go, asks them to think about the societal impact right from the start, which is, well, it's a shift.
Yeah, a big shift. So it's not just guidance, it's actual legal requirements for AI developers.
Precisely. And they're making distinctions too. There are rules for general purpose AI models, the big broad ones like LLMs, and then even stricter requirements for what they call high risk AI.
High risk, like medical AI or finance, stuff like that.
Exactly. Things like medical diagnosis, credit scoring, hiring decisions, even law enforcement tools. The EU is saying, look, these systems can seriously affect people's lives, so they need much tougher checks and balances, fairness, safety, all that. Plus, mandatory reporting and compliance.
Now, the timeline for this is quite ambitious, isn't it?
It is. Some parts actually started back in February. The rules for general purpose AI, those kick in this August. And the high-risk systems we just mentioned, their rules start in August 2026. So it's happening relatively quickly.
Wow, okay. That's fast, especially with tech giants asking for more time. What does this mean for the market, for businesses operating globally?
Well, it's got huge implications. If you want to do business in the EU market, simple as that, you need to comply. And it reflects this bigger trend, right? Governments everywhere are getting more involved in shaping how AI develops, trying to balance innovation with safety and privacy. The EU's move here, it really sets a precedent. It could influence AI rules globally, pushing companies towards higher standards everywhere just for consistency. It's quite a power play.
Okay, so sticking with the EU, but shifting focus slightly, Google's facing another challenge there. An antitrust complaint about their AI overviews. This comes from the Independent Publishers Alliance. What's the core issue here?
Yeah, this one really hits at the heart of how the internet works, especially with AI in the mix. So Google's AI overviews, they generate those summary answers right at the top of your search results, using content scraped from websites. Google says it's about quick answers for users, but the publishers, they're saying this is basically misusing their content.
Because people get the answer and don't click through to the original site.
Exactly. They argue it leads to a huge drop in traffic, fewer readers, and ultimately less revenue, especially for news outlets that rely on that traffic for advertising, for survival.
And this feature, AI overviews, it's been around for over a year now, hasn't it? Expanding, even though there were those, let's say, accuracy issues early on.
Right. And the potential impact here is massive. This isn't just about Google and a few publishers. It's about the whole economic model of online content. If AI can just summarize everything, what happens to the businesses that create the original stuff, independent journalism, specialized blogs, it really forces us to ask, what's the value of content creation if AI can just repackage it? It could mean serious regulatory action for Google, affecting their core search business and their whole relationship with creators. It's part of that bigger picture. Scrutiny over big tech, AI, copyright, fair use, competition, it's all tied together.
That definitely brings up some fundamental questions and leads us nicely into the next big topic, AI's impact on jobs. We hear a lot of concern, especially in the US, about automation. People are worried. What are we actually seeing? Is it really displacing workers?
We're definitely seeing AI automate tasks, no question. Things like writing code, analyzing data, even creating marketing content. Companies, big ones like Salesforce and Amazon, are using AI to become much more efficient. And yeah, that naturally makes people anxious about their jobs. The AI isn't just helping anymore. In some cases, it's taking over chunks of work, especially the repetitive stuff.
So the concerns aren't unfounded. But is that the whole story? Or is there an upside too? Are new opportunities emerging?
Absolutely, it's not just about disruption. That's key. While some tasks get automated, AI can also boost productivity in many technical, creative, and business roles. Think of it as a tool that makes people better at their jobs, like a co-pilot. Plus, it's creating totally new jobs. We need people to develop AI, maintain it, oversee it, make sure it's used ethically. We're already seeing demand surge for AI skills. Companies like Autodesk are reporting this. And not just for engineers, but designers, marketers, strategists who know how to leverage AI.
So it's less about wholesale replacement and more about evolution. Job roles changing, new ones being created. Sounds like adapting skills is crucial.
Exactly. Connecting it to the bigger picture, it's about skill evolution. The full impact, honestly, is still debated. You see predictions all over the place, from mass job losses to huge growth. But what's undeniable is the need for workers to adapt. Lifelong learning, embracing AI tools, focusing on those uniquely human skills, critical thinking, creativity, complex problem solving. Those are harder for AI to replicate.
That makes sense. Okay, let's shift gears again. We've talked regulation, economics, jobs, mostly the sort of digital side of AI. But AI is also making huge strides in the physical world, in robotics. Let's slow down for a second and look at some really interesting updates there, starting with a company we all know.
Yeah, this is where AI gets physical, tangible.
Right. So Amazon's warehouse robots, they're apparently set to outnumber human workers soon.
Yeah.
Amazon just deployed its millionth robot. That's almost matching their human warehouse workforce. And apparently something like 75% of their global deliveries now involve robots at some stage. Plus, they've got a new foundation model boosting robot efficiency by 10%. Well, it's a massive scale of automation.
It really shows how deeply embedded robotics are getting in logistics. It's all about efficiency, scale. And that foundation model, think of it like a smarter, more adaptable brain for the robots. Instead of programming each one for just one task, this model can learn lots of tasks and adapt quickly. That's why it's such a boost to efficiency, makes the robots more versatile without constant reprogramming.
Okay, from warehouses to soccer fields.
Yeah.
Apparently, there was the world's first AI soccer tournament with robots.
Yeah, in Beijing. Teams of humanoid robots powered by AI going head to head. University students train them 3 robots per team to navigate, track the ball, take shots. And apparently it was pretty entertaining. Lots of falls, collisions. They even mentioned robots needing to be carried off on stretchers.
Robots needing stretchers. Sounds like a scene. But beyond the fun, that points to real advances in agility and real-time decision-making for robots.
Right. Absolutely. It's not just a game. It showcases progress in physical autonomy. Think about disaster response, complex manufacturing, even helping out in hospitals. Robots that can react dynamically in unpredictable physical environments. That's a huge step.
And speaking of big steps, there's a startup, Genesis AI, that just raised $105 million. Their goal is pretty ambitious.
Very ambitious. They're tackling this huge gap. The global physical labor market is massive, maybe $30–40 trillion, but only about 5% is automated. Genesis AI wants to change that. Their aim is bringing human-level intelligence into the physical world. They're building a universal open-source AI model that could potentially work with almost any robot, using both simulated and real-world data. And they've got serious backing people like Eric Schmidt, Khosla Ventures.
A universal model, so like one AI brain that could operate lots of different kinds of robots.
That's the idea. It could democratize robotics. No need for specialized programming for every single robot type. Imagine one AI knowing how to handle delicate objects, assemble complex parts, navigate a busy factory floor regardless of the robot's physical body. It could unlock automation for so many industries where it's currently too complex or expensive. A really flexible, intelligent physical system.
That's a potentially massive change for how physical work gets done. Okay, let's bring it back to something more immediate. Quick rundown of some trending AI tools people can actually use now to boost productivity.
Yeah, let's do a quick list. These are tools making waves right now. First, Taskade AI. Think of it as an all-in-one AI workspace. Chat, planning, tracking tasks, all integrated. Then Chromox. Need visuals fast. It turns text ideas into storyboards. Great for creatives, marketers. For sales folks, RegieAI. Auto writes and schedules sales emails that sound remarkably human, saves a lot of time. Compliance headaches. Secureframe automates tasks for SOC 2 and ISO compliance. Those are key security and quality standards. Big time saver for businesses. Hiring tech talent. Remotebase uses AI to help find top remote developers quickly. And launching an online store. WiziShop uses AI to help build SEO-ready stores, assist with descriptions, optimization, marketing copy.
Wow, that's a practical list.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot of these focus on automating those tedious but necessary tasks, right?
Yeah.
Compliance, email outreach, even initial creative steps.
Absolutely, that's the trend. AI as an enabler. It handles the repetitive stuff, the data-heavy stuff, so people can focus on strategy, creativity, complex problems. It's about augmenting human potential, freeing up our time for higher value work. That's a powerful way to think about productivity now.
Definitely. So, quite a journey today from EU regulations and Google's antitrust issues through job market shifts to robots playing soccer and these useful AI tools.
Mhm.
It really underscores how broad and fast AI's impact is becoming.
It really does. AI isn't just tweaking industries anymore. It's fundamentally changing how we interact with information, how we work, even how we're entertained. Makes you wonder, what new frontiers of collaboration or maybe competition will open up next as this all keeps accelerating? It's moving so fast.
A great question to ponder. Thanks everyone for joining us on this deep dive. To keep up with these rapid developments, please follow AI Brief wherever you listen to your podcasts.
And if you found this useful, please share it with anyone else curious about where AI is taking us. Until next time.